Good morning, Force followers. How are you today? Happy Thursday. Sorry we're late. We were having some technical difficulties, so that's okay. I think we figured it out because holy moly, today is going to be a great episode. I cannot wait to get my guest on here and get talking to her. But before we do that, my name is Brittany Arduini, and I'm the director of Houston Force Volleyball Club. I go live every week right here on Force TV to talk about all things volleyball. We're in season 1, and it has been all about recruiting and playing volleyball in college. And today's episode is number 5, and we are going to be diving into what college coaches are looking for that is not volleyball, like you as a person. What are they looking for? And believe me when I say I have the best person on today to talk about this topic. My guest today is Karen Chisum, Coach Chisum, or as I called her with my teammates when we were playing, Chiz. Coach Chisum was a volleyball coach at Texas State University for 40 years, and I played for 4 of those 40 years. From 2006 through 2009, I was recruited by Texas State when I was 16 and committed in the spring of 2004, which was my sophomore year, to play setter for the Bobcats. Now, I'm going to give a few stats on Coach Chisum because I think that they are impressive and they show how she grew Texas State's program over those 40 years from 1980 through 2019. Chisum finished her career with a record of 919 wins, like, whoa, and then 559 losses and 3 ties, which I've never seen a tie, so maybe we'll talk about that. Making her the 3rd NCAA Division I coach to reach 900 wins and 4th all-time in all sports to do it in one program. Now, I might have to ask, I just said that. I'm going to have to ask about those ties. Sorry, I was reading my script. Coach Chisum won 9 regular season championships and 11 tournament championships, with those 11 tournament championships giving her 11 NCAA tournament appearances. In 2018, Texas State made history when they defeated Rice in the first round of the NCAAs and claimed their very first tournament win, which is awesome. If you're here with me live today, right now, please give me a thumbs up. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay in the comments below, and share this video with anybody that you think might find it valuable. So, yay, I got a thumbs up. With all those wins, Chisum must have recruited some really great athletes, obviously. But not only with great skill did she recruit great people. The one thing I know about Chiz is that she loved her job. So to love your job, you have to be surrounded by great people. And so I want to know what her secret sauce was to recruiting those people. What was she looking for in the athletes that she brought into her program? So I'm going to let her talk on that. Without further ado, here's Karen Chisum. 1 second. Hey, Chiz, how are you? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Look what I found.
Look at that.
Wait a minute, I gotta find you. There she is. 1990. Let's see, what was it? 2008 champions.
Yeah, well, not only were we the 2008 champions, we were 2007, 8, and 9.
Right. This is what I want to find. But I appreciate you having me on this morning. Thank you very much.
Oh, I don't think you understand how grateful I am to have you on, Chiz. This is awesome.
Well, we go a long way back. And
yeah,
really
we do.
And your love for the sport, your passion for the sport, and building this program that you're building. So hats off to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I am going to apologize up front that Bo might be a little cryy. He is not in a good mood. So if you hear the backlash of that, yeah.
Right. You used to cry at practice.
Huh?
No, I said you used to cry at practice at times.
Oh, I did. Don't
No,
worry. I know.
that was oh,
Let me see if I can figure out how to mute my mic while you're talking. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, so I wanted to ask, how is retired life?
we won the championship. It was at home. We had tons of people. And then I just got to thinking afterwards, this might be the time to do it. Couldn't have been a better time.
Yeah.
And anyway, after January the 25th, I think it was, February was great. I was very active. I was playing a lot of pickleball and golf, and then COVID hit.
I
And
know.
once COVID hit, everything our plans were to travel some. We've gone nowhere yet. I had a knee replacement in July, which I needed. I'm doing good now. Back on the golf course, which I love. Got to get better. But I haven't been back on the pickleball court. But the things I love is usually 6 o'clock. I like to see with the kids and
Okay, Chiz, hold on. There is in my ear.
Sorry, I can't hear you well.
The sound is really not good. I can't hear you very well.
Does this make a difference? No.
A little bit.
I'll put my thing you can't see. Yeah. I don't know what to do. You talk about technology.
Let's see. Can you I know you said you have your iPad up. Is that muted?
Well, if I mute it, I can.
Okay, no, then I can't hear you now.
Let me turn my phone. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Well, I can hear you. Is that better?
Oh, that's a lot better. Yes.
Okay, we've got it figured out. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Come on.
You people
Sorry.
watching with us.
Yeah, bear with us. We're trying to figure it out. Okay, so you said you didn't really get to travel because COVID hit, and so you planned to do a lot of traveling, but you didn't get to do that.
Exactly.
And then you had your knee replacement in July.
July.
How are you doing?
I'm about 80%. Like I said, I have not gotten back on the pickleball court yet. I'm afraid to. But everybody tells me by 1 year, you'll never know you had it. So I can't wait for July.
Yeah, that's coming up soon.
Year. I know. But I'm glad it's much better than what it was. So yes.
Good. So something that I always ask my guests to do is to tell me what their volleyball story is. So I know yours is a bit long, probably, but if you could give us a little, background on who you are and what your story is.
Well, I started coaching when I graduated from Southwest Texas, Texas State in '72. Went to started coaching at San Marcos High School just as a 9th grade coach. But then I had an opportunity to go to New Braunfels High School with the Unicorns. And I did that for 3 years. Had Nell Fortner, who was an excellent athlete, and she's a big basketball coach now. She coached the Olympics in '84, I think. Yeah, no, she's been on ESPN. She's a commentator and stuff. But she really helped me get my career started. And we laugh a lot because she said, you really got my career started. But I said, you really helped me get my career started. So we're both appreciative of each other. And then Karen Fredenberg was the basketball coach at New Braunfels High School then. And she got on as a basketball coach at Southwest Texas. Mm-hmm. And she's the one that convinced Coach Miller, who was the athletic director then, to have me over and interview. And long story short, when I was hired as assistant volleyball and assistant basketball. And then 2 years later, our head volleyball coach left. I got it in 1980, and in 2020, I left.
You
42 years
left.
later, it's crazy.
And you
It
are
was
a
a.
diehard Bobcat.
I am a. I could really want to show you everything in this room, but we don't have time for me to show you all the good stuff. Everything that was in my office is now in my Bobcat room.
That's awesome. Yeah, you
Now,
you definitely bleed maroon for sure.
there is no doubt about it, and that's one of the things when I say kids. So when I refer to you kid, take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
I hope all my kids, when they graduate and leave Texas State, love it as much as I do.
Yes.
So
And that
it's a good
and I
place, and I know
definitely
you do because you come back.
yes, I was gonna say I think you definitely have that because everybody loves to come back. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
they do.
I've been gone now 10 years and I think of the 10 I've been gone, we've been back 8 times during the season because we want to come and we bring everybody, like the whole team gets
Oh, it's
together and
great.
it's so
And that's
fun.
what it is about coaching and the relationships that you kids all form. And I've said this so many times that I think your best friends in life end up being your college buddies, not your high school buddies.
Yes,
Uh, you ever think when you leave high school, oh my God, I'll never forget you and I'll never do. But then you go to college, and the next thing you know, it's the college teammates and friends that you kind of stay in touch with.
that's right. Yeah, I think it's better as an adult to make those
That's it.
relationships. You kind of understand and appreciate them more. And so you definitely stay close to the people that
Yeah.
you, at least like as a volleyball player that you play with, you
And,
spend like 4 years straight with them. So yeah.
and you shed a lot of blood, sweat, and tears with those people. They did the same thing you did.
Oh yeah, for sure. What is something that you miss most about coaching? I mean, obviously you're not going to go back, but what's something you
Oh,
miss
right.
most?
What do you mean, obviously? You
Cause
never
you're
know. Somebody
done.
might want me back. No, I am not going back. I retired as a Bobcat. Um, gosh, I miss the kids. I miss practices. I miss the relationships and them coming into the office or traveling and them telling me what the latest songs are or what TikTok means. I'm not up with the cool stuff anymore. That
Yeah,
I really, but I really, really miss the competition. I'm a competitor deep down.
yeah,
Um, the highs you get with the wins, are just ecstatic. The lows are awful, but the wins just keep you going.
that's true. That's very true. Um, I have this random question. Do
Okay.
you have a memory, like one memory of the time when I was at Tech State? It could be any of the 4 years. I know it's 10 years ago, or over 10 years ago. But is there
Yeah.
something that kind of sticks out in your mind from when I was playing there?
You know, because Shelby came in, Shelby was 2 years younger or older than you.
Younger.
She's younger. So you had the team and stuff. Shelby came in. I think when I compare you two, you had great fundamentals and stuff, good leader. I don't think you were. I think you were a quieter leader. And it's still going back to Melinda, who was on your team. She was the outgoing, crazy idiot
Yes.
that kept it going. Um, but Brittany, I talk to you a lot about when I recruit kids. I'm recruiting you as a person, not just as a volleyball player.
Yeah.
And you were struggling. You were struggling with one of your teammates one time. And honestly, I can't even tell you who that was. And I don't know if you'll remember this or not. But I had both of y'all come out to the house. Let's talk
Yeah.
this out, figure out what it was. But y'all coming out here, being comfortable in my house and talking to you, sometimes I think you've got to get it out of the volleyball court, out of the Coliseum. Most of the times when I met with some of my kids, I'd meet them to have a iced tea or something, but not in my office.
Yeah.
To more as just being a person. But I know you and whomever it was resolved everything. Y'all got along on the court after that. We just went going and we won, like you said, 3 championships.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's true. And
they
I do
were,
remember that going to your house.
you, I like you probably know who it was, but I don't. But don't tell us.
I won't. Uh,
uh,
so
but you
the
were
re
good. You were a good leader, and you led us to, like I said, 3 championships.
thank you.
So it's fun.
Uh, so obviously, well, the reason I asked you to come on today for was to talk about recruiting. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it was to talk about what kind of things are you looking for in athletes away from the volleyball court. You go to the tournaments, you watch them play, you can obviously see if they're good enough skillfully, but what makes you say like yes to that kid?
Well, first of all, I when I talk about Texas State program, it's not just me; it was my staff. And you said
Yeah.
it early on. You surround yourself with good people, and I was fortunate to have Tracy and Sean with me for many, many moons. But when I go to tournaments, one of the first things I see is work habits and energy. I'm a people person. I'm a
Yeah.
high energy person, as you know. I'm looking at their movements on the court, their relationship with their teammates, their reactions to their coaches. Um, that is very, very, and their passion. You can tell if a kid's got a passion for volleyball or if they have a competitiveness. You got
Yeah.
to be a competitor, in my book. Uh, so yes, yes, we're going to know the skills. If they've got the skills, great. But the way they react to their teammates and coaches
Mhm.
and also on the court is huge to me.
Yeah.
It's huge. I don't want
Yeah.
to see somebody that's going to drop their head and pout, be quiet, not relate to their teammates. I want to see the high fives in the middle of the court after the point, and that eye to eye contact.
Yeah. I
But one
love
of the
that.
big always watch is their reactions to their coaches and their relationship with their coach.
Well, yeah, because that's what the relationship you're going to have with them, right?
That's right.
So,
Right.
however they act towards their club coaches or their high school coaches is probably how they're going to treat you too. And
Exactly.
so,
But then when the game's over, I want to see them react to their parents. You watch them go over to mom and dad
yeah.
and see how they treat mom and dad. And I've seen kids just snub them or be gritty or ugly to them.
Yeah.
That's not the type of person I want because that's who they are.
Right.
That's not a freak.
That's their
Um,
comfort. That's their comfort.
that's,
Like
yeah,
that's who
mom and
they're,
dad.
yeah.
The other
That's
thing we
interesting.
watch a lot as I walk by the court is the bench. And maybe the kids that we're really looking back are on the bench. Are those kids involved? Or is she involved from the bench? Is she a good teammate? Is
Yeah.
she watching play, knowing what's going to be going on and what's happening? So I'm telling you, college coaches are watching everything a kid does from the bench to the court to their coach to their parents and then to their teammates.
Yeah.
That's huge, in my
That's
opinion.
that's what I would tell somebody, but it's nice to hear it coming from you and coming from somebody that is doing the recruiting,
Yes,
because I think it's very important how just to see how they treat people in general.
that's the
Um,
key. How are you going to treat people? Yes.
yeah, and like we said, you want to surround yourself with good people, and so you want them to be. They don't have to be fake or anything. They just need to be
Oh,
nice, and they need to be real. They need to understand. If they have a hard time losing a game, then you have a hard time losing the game. But how are you going to come back from that? Yes,
you
perfect.
know, and you know this. I'm definitely, I'll say it, old fashioned. But when they're watching or talking to their coaches or their parents, if it's yeah, I still like the yes ma'am and the no ma'am and
Yeah,
yes sir. And I know kids aren't brought up that way too much anymore, and that's where Tracy and Sean. It's okay if they say yes. Well, why can't they say yes ma'am? It doesn't happen. But it's just being polite and respectful, in my
at least
opinion.
yes, and at least they were saying yes and not
Yes,
mm-hmm,
yeah,
yeah. Great job.
exactly, exactly.
But I get what you're saying, and it's kind of funny. I had a conversation. So I obviously have Brooklyn, who's about 4, and
Right?
we instill saying yes, not yes, ma'am, at least not to us, but we say yes. But I asked my mom, I said, Mom, how did I know when not to say or when to say yes, ma'am, and when it was okay to not say yes, ma'am? And she goes,
Yeah,
I don't know. You just picked that up. That was just something that you did as a person. And so
yeah.
it's funny that you say that because I'm like, well, when do we start
Um,
teaching things that, like that to Brooklyn? And so I just make sure that I'm a good example for her so that, when we're out in public and talking to somebody like you or whatever, we would say yes, ma'am. But when we're with grandma or with mom, it's
right. Yes,
not
it's
as bad.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. So you have athletes come to the school all the time for unofficial visits, official visits. What kind of things obviously we're looking for a good human being, so we know that. But what are some other kind of things that they do during that time that, helps you understand that, yes, this is who you want, or no, maybe not?
Right. Well, as we walk around campus and they get to know the campus and we're sharing time with them and listening to them. One, this would be, well, you'll understand it, how they talk about their family. How they talk about mom and dad and grandparents. We ran a family oriented program. I wanted
Yes.
to know your grandparents. I wanted to know the kids' mom and dad. I hope their parents come with them. And when the parents come with them, I think it's very important for me to hear from the kids, not the parents. There's
Yes.
times when parents would be dominant and take over and ask all the questions. And I understand them being curious,
Sure.
but I want to, and those same questions are great, but let them come from the kid. Be be comfortable, as I tell the recruit, be comfortable, but ask questions. What do you
Yeah.
want to know about me? What do you want to know about these teammates? And I watch it when our kids or our players would be with them, and then
Hmm.
they'd come back and give us information. I would always ask the team players, the Bobcats, how it went with them.
Yeah.
Um, but even just watching their mannerisms and hearing them talk about their competitiveness or what they want, like, do you really want a college education?
Yeah.
Um, what do you want out of life? And most of the juniors and seniors in high school, well, sophomores now, when they come up, they don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Or even if they think they do, they're going to change it 3 or 4 times before we get to the final graduation. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open. I want them to hope they keep their eyes open and for them even to ask me, well, why do you love Texas State? It's okay for them to ask and get our opinion because I'm
Yeah.
going to come back and ask them, why did you choose to come to Texas State University?
Right.
What are your thoughts about it? Did you have family and friends up here, high school buddies and stuff, or you're just anybody that's got a scholarship you're going to, and that's fine too.
Right.
But I really encourage them, Brittany, to visit more than one places. And compare apples to apples and not apples to orange. And I say that because I lost a kid one time. I'd been to Texas State, loved it, and I would have bet that Sunday when she left she was committed to us. Well, the next weekend she goes to a big football school,
Hmm.
A&M. I'm going to tell you, she went to A&M, went to the football game. That was so much fun. But you
Yeah.
know what? And she chose it. But that had nothing to do with volleyball.
No.
No, had nothing to do with volleyball. Make
Yeah.
sure don't compare my football team, and I love our coach and our team. I'm not, don't compare football programs or baseball programs if you're coming for volleyball.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
really important.
I agree with that. And
Yeah,
I tell my athletes all the time that, you know, you can it college is college. Like, there's football at almost every school.
that's
It's the same experience. Yeah, you might not have 100,000 people in the stand, but you're going to have friends. You're still going to be a student. You're still going to be cheering on another team, whatever the case may be. But go and look at it, like you said, for the volleyball in the
that's right.
school,
And
not about
okay,
the extra stuff, because you're going to find fun in everywhere you go. But if the volleyball program is exactly where you're supposed to be, then that's where you need to be. If they have your major and they have what you want to do, then that's where you need to be too. Because I
that's
don't know,
right.
but you have to find that harmony between those two things. It's not about everything else.
You
You're going to be
do,
a
and
lot
then
happier.
oftentimes because Texas State's such a popular school, and kids love to come up there, as you know.
Yes.
But sometimes they'll say, "Take volleyball out of the picture. Would you still go to that school?" It
Right.
doesn't, you know. And if we have anybody lead the program, very seldom do they transfer from Texas State. They stay there and graduate because they're enjoying it. They've got their major. They
Oh,
really
yeah.
love it. They
Yeah.
just, So make sure you're enjoying the school you're going to. And
Yeah.
the other thing you mentioned, this what go made me think about it. When you're looking at volleyball programs, you're going to come to Texas State. You're going to have a full house. You're going to have a lot of people there. And I'm not saying we have built a very great following in San Marcos, Texas.
Yes.
Um,
Very true.
and of course, depending on our opponent, but we can have anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 people.
Right.
And you can go to some of the other even big time schools, and they've got 400 people in the stands. Is
Yeah.
that important? I don't know. But our atmosphere is fun. You
Right.
know, it really helps our kids energize, stay focused, and they're very proud to be a Bobcat. They
Yeah.
like representing Texas State University.
Yeah. I can agree with that. I can definitely attest to that. I always, enjoyed being a volleyball player. I think, I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but I always tell everybody that is asking, should I play in college? I say, it was the best and the worst 4 years of my life. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But at the end of it, it was so rewarding. And I've learned so much about who I am as a human being and what I wanted to be as an adult based on just playing college volleyball. And so, can everybody handle it? Maybe not, but you have to at least try. And so that's always kind of my message to my athletes is get out there and do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's a very good point.
Uh-uh.
Because if they don't, if they're good skilled and they can play somewhere, if they don't give it a shot, they'll never know if they could
Right.
have done it. But you know, so
Exactly.
of course, as a college coach, I want somebody that really knows they're committed and they're going to be with me for 4 years. But
Right.
there's times you take a chance on kids, and I love taking a chance on kids
Yeah.
because I know I can help them.
Yeah.
So make sure you hear that coach say, "I want you. I want to help you grow. I want to help. I guarantee. I want you to graduate in 4 years."
Yes. Exactly. So there was something you said that I thought was really interesting. When the athlete comes to visit,
Mm-hmm.
you I'm going to go over this next week. Actually, I'm going to go, what is an unofficial and an official visit and what is it like? But there's always a time where the athlete and the parents get to sit down with the head coach or the assistant coaches. And you
Right.
mentioned that you want to hear questions from the athletes. So my advice, and I just wanted to say this, was practice those questions as an athlete with your parents prior to
Right.
coming to the gym or to the office. Know what you want to have
It's
to
good.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what do you want to know? And I always tell my athletes too that you want to call coaches and have a conversation on the phone, and they're always like, "Oh, I'm so scared." But I tell them it's the coach's job to lead the conversation, but you have to ask questions and you have to talk. So it's the same thing sitting in your office. I can tell you I was intimidated sitting in Coach Chisum's office as a 16-year-old, but I hope I did it. I hope I asked questions because my parents aren't over like bearing. They like to lead me. And but practice those questions, practice what you want to know, and then, somebody like Coach Chisholm, she's going to guide the conversation. I mean, you were fantastic at that, but that's the college coach's job is to
Yeah.
make you
That's
feel
because I like
comfortable.
to talk. But it's okay that you recruits, it's okay to have a list of questions.
Yeah.
Many times kids will come in with a list of questions, and after Sean, Tracy, or we do our spill,
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you 80% of those questions have been answered because
True.
I'm going to share what they need to know and what they want to know.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not okay for parents to ask questions. I am not saying that at all.
Yeah.
Just don't be the dominant person in that room. Let
Right.
your daughter be her. We want to
Good.
get to know her. And
Yeah.
that's what I said this, and I'll say it every time. I want the parents to come with them to the visits because I want them to see what we have to share. I feel like I'm recruiting you again. I want them to see what Texas State or whomever, I got to quit saying Texas State, has to share. And then they're going to buy into it. And when they leave my office or our conference room, 9 out of 10 times they're going to be very comfortable
Yeah.
with what they've heard.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
let
think
the coaches share all their information, but have that list of questions. That's okay.
yeah, I think it's like that across the board at all, I think college coaches get into the job obviously for volleyball, but it's to be with the kids and
That's right.
to teach them how to grow up and be humans and be good humans out in the world. And so I think that's a 50-50,
But the other thing I think is important when you said that is eye to eye contact.
Yes, of
Look
course.
at that coach in the eye. Look at your mom and dad in that. When you're talking to somebody, eye to eye contact is very important in my book.
Yeah, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it.
Exactly.
So I have one more question. Have you ever not offered a great athlete because of something non-volleyball?
Yes, I have, and that's tough. But what I hear, we listen to our team.
Hmm.
We listen to the kids when they come back to us. The next day after the recruit leaves, we always ask them, "What do you think?" And
Yeah.
one time, I don't remember what team it was, but said, "Coach, I guarantee it ain't going to work. It is
Oh.
not." All their first question is, "What's downtown? Where are the bars?"
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, that's
that's
all they
awful.
wanted to do. I know, but they were honest with me, and that was important. I don't want to waste my time with that. It doesn't
Right.
fit into my program. Some coaches don't care if you can take care of business on the court and go out and drink that night. They don't care. I did,
Right.
So yes, I that has happened, and just conflicts with the kids. Yes,
Yeah.
it has. So it's very important, you guys. I'm telling you, recruits. Well, I want you to be yourself when you go on campus. And if that's who you are, that's who you are.
Yeah.
There's a place for you somewhere. May not be at my school or my team, but there may be a place for you.
Right. Okay. And then because of that, over the years, obviously social media has become very part of everybody's life. And I remember my horrible first day at Texas State. Facebook
Don't
was
tell me, class.
it was my first day in the spring, and you had Coach Zach pull up a slideshow
Yeah,
of
yeah,
some things that the players did not need to be doing that they had posted on Facebook. But again, Facebook was like a year old, and
yeah,
it was brand
yes.
new. So over the years, things have happened. Have you ever like not or does their social media affect what,
I will tell
the
you
whole thing?
definitely. And I'm not one to be on, and this was just, it's not me. I'm not the social media person, this, that, and the other, but one of my staff would be,
Yeah,
always followed them. But actually, both of my staff would follow them. And yes, that's huge. If
yeah,
you guys be careful what you put on any social media, because it's not coming off. Somebody's going to
right,
see it.
right.
Eventually, somebody, depends on what you're in, it may come off. But you're, again, we want to know who you are. And if that's what you're putting on there, if that's you, great.
Yeah,
But again, different coaches are different. Like you say in social media, this what you're doing today and got a YouTube video, like, oh my God, that's amazing to me. Because trust me, we didn't do that when I was teaching and coaching.
oh no, this has definitely been something
A
that
big plus.
I have had to push out of my comfort zone and do, and I hope that in turn it helps with the future of the club. So again, I thank
Yeah.
you for being on here. Um,
Well, it has, and just like you said a while ago, somebody put thumbs up. So somebody's watching you live.
yeah,
And they're going to share that, and then I guess you keep it on YouTube or whatever. Somebody can go back and watch it videoed.
yes,
But yes, that's amazing. That's amazing.
thank you.
Good for you.
I'm trying.
You'll be
Well,
successful.
thank you. Um, well, if you don't have anything else, that was all my questions. If you have any last minute things you'd like to share, that would be grateful for that.
Um,
Oh no,
uh,
lost your picture, but that's okay.
oh wait, that's got somebody.
Oh,
Dadgummit. Who asked them? Well, doesn't matter. Oh yes, it does. We're going to be back on here in a sec. A couple of things I had written down. Am I back?
almost.
Speaker. That's
I can
okay.
still hear you, so that's good.
Okay. I just want the kids to be themselves, um, be respectful, but every coach is going to be looking for competitiveness, personality, respect. You
Yes,
know, you just got to have a fight. And if you like that school, let it know. Let that coach know. Don't sit back. I mean, you got to market yourself.
that's right.
Um, don't be overbearing, but yeah, stay in touch with them. Come up and watch their teams play. Come to campus. Go to camps if we ever get camps going again. Um,
Right.
that's a great way to get to know the staff, the players, and what goes on at that place.
That's definitely something I've always told my athletes too, is let them know that you want to be there.
Yep,
They don't know what they don't know. And so if you're not telling them that you want to be at that school, then they're never going
that's
to know
right.
that you actually want to be there. So, well,
And I will. Just one other thing, Brittany.
Yes.
If they grow up to be an Aggie, a Bobcat, a Longhorn, whatever, and you fit into that program,
Yeah.
that's nothing with what a coach wants. Is to find somebody who wants to be a Bobcat. And I've had 2 or 3 kids that have grown up all their lives wanting to go to Texas State or Southwest Texas or be a Bobcat. That's
Right.
huge to me because I know they'll be loyal.
Mm-hmm.
And to be there. And the other thing I haven't said, I love gym rats. I don't mind a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Go play soccer, play basketball up until maybe your junior year in high school, and then you probably have to specialize.
Yeah.
But the relationship they make with different coaches and different teammates, it's only going to help them grow.
That's true.
My
That's
thoughts.
true.
And barrel racers. I've had kids that rode horses and rodeoed, or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
Other things. Just learn how to be respectful and treat people right.
I love it. Thank you.
You're
Thank you so
welcome. It was
much.
fun.
This was
Thank you.
fun. We'll
Come
have to
back.
do it again.
Okay, but you know what you said in one of your emails? Something about I'll come up and watch the Bobcats play this fall.
Yes.
They're starting next week. They're playing this spring, as you know. We
I
play
did.
UTSA next. Yes.
I saw the schedule, but I
No,
was
it's
like, dang,
legit
that's a
game.
lot of games.
Well, you get 32 dates during the year, and I guess Sean only used 16 or 18 because he's got 14 to play this spring. And with the
Wow.
conference championships, not conference, national championships, not till April, he's got
Right.
to have that competition.
Yes,
So
you're right.
he's got a good spring schedule to get him ready for the NCAAs.
Well, then I will have to look at that and see
No,
if we can make it up because
yeah,
unfortunately, being the director, you have to go to a lot of
yeah.
tournaments every other weekend. But if there's a free weekend, I will definitely make it.
But I'll tell you right now, it's because of basketball. There are no weekends. Basketball's playing now on the weekends. So most of his matches are on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And I know
Oh,
he comes down. No, because basketball's got their schedule. They were
that's right.
scheduled way before this started. So most of the college matches you'll see will be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays or
Okay,
Thursdays.
perfect. Well,
FYI.
then,
So I'll see
thank
you at the
you.
Coliseum sometime soon. Take
Yes,
care.
yes, you will.
Thanks
Bye.
again.
Holy cow, that was fantastic. Karen Chisholm is the best person in the world. I love her. Um, can't wait to get her back on the show. And whew, I'm exhausted just being so blessed by her presence. Well, anyways, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for joining me live if you've been here. If you found any of this remotely interesting, please share. I think people need to know what kind of person people or coaches are looking for. So remind them, let them know, share this video, jump over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, Force TV. All right, so thank you again for joining. I am so excited that you were here. And now don't forget to join me next week, every Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on Force TV. Um, I will be going over next week what is an official and an unofficial visit and what are they like when it comes to recruiting. I will cover what you do, what to expect, how to set one up with a school that you might be interested in playing at. Good luck to all Force teams that are playing this weekend. Check our Instagram to get updates throughout the weekend on how our teams are doing. And please don't forget, Houston Force is having our first annual Topgolf fundraiser on March 28th. Check out our event website. I will post it in the comments after the video. You can buy your tickets online, or if you'd like to do a sponsorship, you can email me directly at brittany@houstonforcevb.com. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining, and I will see you right here next week. Same day, same time. Goodbye for now.